Hi guys, this is Veer from EngVarta and today we are here to talk about idioms or quick phrases that may help you to sound a bit more confident if used correctly. So are you ready? Let's begin. So the first idiom is break a leg, which generally means to wish someone best of luck before an event or a performance. For example, hey, you have an event tomorrow, right? Go break a leg. Or your place tomorrow, right? Go break a leg. So the next idiom is bite the bullet, which basically means to face a tough or a difficult situation. For example, I avoided going to the doctor for a long time, but I finally had to bite the bullet. And our next idiom is piece of cake, which basically means something that is very easy or simple to do. For example, I aced the maths test, it was a piece of cake. Or the interview was a piece of cake, I got the job. Next idiom is under the weather, which you can use when you're not feeling well or not in good health. For example, I don't think I can make it to the party tonight, I'm a bit under the weather. Or she's been under the weather for the past few days, that's why she's resting at home. So our next idiom is raining cats and dogs. Do you get it? No? It's pretty simple. It just means that it's raining very heavily or there's a torrential downpour. For example, hey, let's wait a bit before going out because it's raining cats and dogs. Or the game was postponed because it was raining cats and dogs. Cost an arm and a leg, which means something that is very expensive or way too costly. For example, hey, that new smartphone is very nice, but it will cost me an arm and a leg. Or, I want that new shoe, but it will cost me an arm and a leg. Moving on, hit the nail on the head, which basically means something that is correct or precise. For example, hey, you hit the nail on the head with that particular situation. Or, the detective hit the nail on the head and he cracked the case. Moving on. When pigs fly. Do pigs fly? No, it just means that something that is very highly unlikely to happen. For example, she said she'll submit the project on time. Yeah, I'll believe it when pigs fly. Next, piece of advice. Pretty simple, right? It just means giving someone guidance or advice. For example, hey, here's a piece of advice. Don't take things too seriously. Or, I think she gave me a correct piece of advice when she told me to be on time. Moving on the fence, which basically means that you're undecided or unsure about something. For example, she's on the fence about the job offer. Or, I'm on the fence about whether to take this college or the other one. Kill two birds with one stone, which means accomplishing two tasks at once. For example, I study while I commute, thereby killing two birds with one stone. Or, she cooks dinner while teaching her kids as well, thus killing two birds with one stone. Next, once in a blue moon, which basically refers to something that happens occasionally or very rarely. For example, I get to see my extended family once in a blue moon. Or, I'm actually so busy with work that I only take vacations once in a blue moon. A penny for your thoughts, which basically means to ask something what they are thinking or their opinion on something. For example, he was staring out of the window, looking intently, so I asked him, a penny for your thoughts? Actions speak louder than word, which is a very sound advice actually. It also means that doing something is more important than just talking about it. For example, you wanted to apologize to her. Don't just say it. Actions speak louder than words. Or, you want to help someone. Don't just speak about it. Actions speak louder than words. Don't cry over spilled milk, which basically means that don't worry about something that has already happened and cannot be changed. For example, the project got delayed and now it can't be changed. So there's no use crying over spilled milk. Or what's happened, happened. Let's not cry over spilled milk. Moving on. Cost a pretty penny, which means something that is very expensive. For example, that handbag that she is carrying must have cost her a pretty penny. Or the improvements that they made in their house cost them a pretty penny, but I think it's worth it. Spitting image, which basically means to carry an uncanny resemblance to someone, generally a family member. For example, she's a spitting image of her mother, especially when she was young. The boy has a spitting resemblance to his grandfather, especially when he smiles. On the same page, which basically means to have a shared understanding or be in agreement. For example, before we start this project, let's have a meeting to ensure that we are all on the same page. Or they had a serious talk together to discuss about their future so that they can be on the same page. Every cloud has a silver lining, which means there's a positive aspect to even the most challenging situation. For example, despite losing the match, it motivated them to do better in the next one. As they say, every cloud has a silver lining. Break the ice, which means to initiate a conversation or activity in a social setting. For example, he cracked a very funny joke in the party to break the ice and get everyone talking. Or during a team building event, we played so many games so that we can break the ice and also build friendship. In hot water, which refers to finding yourself in trouble or facing difficulty. For example, she knew that she would be in hot water if her parents found out that she skipped school. Or he knew that he was in hot water after he missed an all-important deadline. Spill the beans, which means to reveal a secret or an important information. For example, I trusted her to not spill the beans, but she couldn't hold herself. Or he finally spilled the beans after an intense interrogation. To jump on the bandwagon, which means to join or support a popular trend or movement. For example, as soon as the new social media platform gained popularity, everyone decided to jump on the bandwagon and created accounts. Or as soon as the team started winning championships, everyone jumped on the bandwagon and started cheering for them. Kick the bucket, which means to die. For example, after a prolonged battle with illness, he finally kicked the bucket peacefully. Or, I don't plan on kicking the bucket anytime soon because I have still so much left to do. The ball is in your court, which means it's your turn to take action or make a decision. For example, I've done my part of the project, now the ball is in your court to complete your tasks. Or, the company offered her the job, now the ball is in her court to accept or reject it. Burning the midnight oil, which we all know, it basically means to work late into the night or till the early hours of the morning. For example, during exam week, we all burn the midnight oil to prepare for it. Or, with the deadline approaching, they had to burn the midnight oil to complete the project on time. Break the bank, which means to spend a large amount of money. For example, I really like that car, but I would have to break the bank to even afford it. Or, they decided to break the bank to fund for their extravagant vacation. Hit the sack, which means to go to bed or sleep. For example, I'm extremely exhausted right now, I need to hit the sack to get a good night's rest. Or everyone decided to hit the sack after the party. A piece of my mind, which means to express anger or displeasure at someone. For example, she was so rude to me that I decided to give her a piece of my mind. Or, He was so unhappy with the service that he decided to call the manager and give him a piece of his mind. Beat around the bush. It refers to not getting to the point or avoiding the topic. For example, instead of speaking directly, he kept beating around the bush and made the situation even more confusing. Or, the manager urged everyone in the team to not beat around the bush and be honest. So, this concludes our video. So, these were just a few examples of idioms or phrases that we all can use in our daily communication. Just remember, try and use these idioms appropriately so that you will sound a bit more confident. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like and also share and subscribe the channel while you're at it. For more such content, or if you have any personal idioms that you want to share, write down in the comments below. Till then, take care and I'll see you in the next video.